Hey y'all, welcome to the first banned book diary. So you are seeing this clip, which is technically filmed after a few other clips, which whatever, this is how I roll. Such is life. So this is one of the projects that I wanted to kind of take on this year, doing one of these maybe every other month. I would say once a month, but I don't want to make that commitment. I feel like every other month is somewhat doable. And in this project, I am going to be exploring reading more banned and challenged books. One of you, as a viewer, had stated in a comment that during Banned Books Week should not be the only time that we are sharing, and asked if I could continue to share books that have been banned or challenged and talk about them more and continue to raise awareness. And I thought that that was a brilliant idea, and I decided to accumulate it into this whole entire thing called the Banned Book Diaries. I am really excited about this, and by this point now, if you've seen the thumbnail, you know that the book that I've chosen for this first Banned Book Diary is Fat Angie by E.E. Charlton Trujillo. I'm probably not saying that right. This is a YA realistic fiction book that was written as early as, I believe, 2012. So we are getting an older version, 2013. We're getting an older version of YA as an age category. So there's much to be said about this. It focuses on a young girl by the name, well, she's in high school, still young. Her name is Angie. She is fat or plus sized, whatever your preference term is. And she's struggling with a lot. Her sister got deployed. She decided to enlist. She got deployed, and she was considered to be dead because she was taken by Iraqi soldiers, and it was broadcast for the world to see, and she didn't handle it well, and she attempted to commit suicide during a pep rally. And so she was already picked on heavily because of her weight. This kind of added to the taunting and the just horrific experiences that she's going through. So I'm going to be working my way through all of these books. This book is one that you won't find on any major list of like the most challenged and banned books. Do understand, as with a lot of organizations like American Library Association, they only capture a small fraction of books that have been banned or challenged. And so Pan America has compiled this list of whenever they become actively aware of any book that has been banned or challenged, they add it to this Google spreadsheet that they continuously update. This book actually was not challenged until last year, and it was in the state of Tennessee, and it is not even challenged. It's actually been banned pending investigation. So challenge usually means that it can stay on the shelves in a lot of places and it goes through a formal review, but this book has been banned until its investigation is over with. It didn't specifically say what content had been challenged or banned, but as I'm filming this intro clip, I actually have read a good portion of this book already, and I definitely am going to say that the queer content in this is probably what's being challenged, as well as the content and reference to anatomy. And so I will leave it at that. I am going to be just giving you updates. This is going to be spoiler free, giving you thoughts. I want you all to understand as well that going into these projects, it is not a universal blanket that I'm going to like every book that I read that has been banned or challenged. It is very possible that I'm going to read books that have been banned or challenged that I am not going to like, just because of the book itself. Does that mean that it should not be shared or that people shouldn't have access to it? Absolutely not. We still believe in intellectual freedom, but I'm going to be giving you my thoughts, my reviews, and my perspective, and to raise awareness of these books that have been banned and challenged. So let's go ahead and dive in. You are actually going to see me and my dad do an unboxing first together before I start diving into the meat of this book. I hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, happy holidays. Welcome to You cutting up already. Welcome to another video. So I am going to be doing another project on my channel that's going to be a banned book diary challenge. So this is kind of the intro, but before we get started, I wanted to welcome my dad back to the channel. We are going to be doing another treats box unboxing. They were kind enough to send us another box to unbox together, and I know that those of y'all who were able to see the unboxing the first time around really enjoyed having him on the channel, so he's back.
Oh goodness, thank you all.
Your glasses looked a little crooked.
Oh, okay.
No, there's no cutting. I will cut it out in post-production.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so just a little bit about this project that I'm working on. Once a month, I'm going to be hopefully highlighting and focusing on reading a banned book. And this one for this month is Fat Angie. The book is literally over there, but I'm not going to make us do gymnastics for me to go get the book. So somewhere probably over his face, I will insert a clip or an image of the book Fat Angie. This is a book that has been both challenged and banned, and so this is the one that I'll be reading during this vlog. The treats box is just something fun for us to do to open. So they did end up giving me a code that y'all can use. I'll make sure that it is here across the screen where you can get a percentage off of your first box. So they send you a treat box once a month. They have different levels that you can join, which indicates how many treats you get. I believe that this one is a 10 treat box, and they cover so many different corners of the world. The last one that we did was Brazil, and we had a lot of fun trying that out. And make sure I leave that video up in the card symbol above. And for this one, we don't know what it is just yet, but we are going to do the unboxing together. So I'll make sure, like I said, I'll leave that code down in the description box as well as a link to the website. And thank you so much to them for sending us another box to do together, because we had a lot of fun doing it last time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you nervous?
No, but I'm hungry for some chocolate. I want chocolate. Don't know.
Well, what if there's no chocolate?
Then I won't take it.
Oh. Okay. All right. So opening up the box, it comes like this. That's what it looks like. So this month's box is the Philippines. And so this is the welcome card that they give you, which is, it's neat because it looks like a little postcard. It says, this month's treats come to you from a country that is considered to be the second largest archipelago in the world and is made up of 7,107 islands. Conquered by Spain as a colony in 1521, the Philippines were named after King Philip II of Spain. And it provides some more information. There is a Explore Philippines fun fact card here, which gives you stuff about the population, language, landmass, climate, capital, government type, and then a couple of did you know facts, and then they even have a recipe. Happy holidays, by the way, to anyone who celebrates, considering there is a huge Christmas tree behind us. Okay. So as last time, we have a thing that we can fill out with best, worst, and weirdest. So last time we decided to change weirdest to just being different.
Yes.
And we're probably going to do the same thing this time. We had a pretty good run last time until we got to the last one. So we'll see what this is. We're going to follow along with the card right here with the with what's in it. So let's go ahead and open this up. So it looks like it's a lot less sweets. Sorry.
Oh, well, I'll make the best of it.
Sorry. Ooh. Dear customer, if you see an item in the box that's not on the information card, it's because we are adding a mystery treat in your box this month. Enjoy.
Oh.
Okay, so there's going to potentially be one. Yeah, they're shaking it up. This potentially may be one that we are not used to. All right. So the first one that we have here is the Hansel Mocha Sandwich.
Oh, what a name.
If I can find it. Oh, here it is. It is, this is the packaging for it. It is a perfect biscuit sandwich treat for those who enjoy soft, crunchy biscuits. Its mocha taste is combined with its distinct aromas create a unique and delicious cookie sandwich. Smells like coffee. Not bad. Tastes like coffee cookies.
Okay, smell just like Sunday morning.
You come with the one-liners. I'm fine with that one. All right. So we're just going to go with good. I'm going to say worse to say not great. And then different. All right. The next one that we have, Sky Flakes garlic flavor. The #1 undisputed cracker brand in the Philippines. Sky Flakes are known for their crispy taste and oven-baked freshness. Sky Flakes are ideal as a snack in between meals and can even complement many meal entrees perfectly. This is the packaging, by the way.
That's what I need at that time. Full of garlic.
It tastes like saltine. It tastes like saltine to me.
Do you get the garlic? This supposed to have garlic in it? We missed this one.
Well, it tastes like saltine crackers, y'all.
Yeah. They're light on the garlic. They're
very light on the garlic, which I think actually is a good thing.
Yeah.
It'd be good with some chicken noodle soup.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad at all. Literally tastes just like saltine crackers.
Not as salty though. So that's a good thing.
Okay, the next one is adobo boy bawang. So boy bawang is garlic in the Filipino language. Love garlic. Are immensely savory corn nuts seasoned with garlic, salt, and chili pepper. Adobo is an all-time favorite dish in the Philippines. Enjoy the taste of adobo with every bite of boy bawang. I figured these were the corn nuts. There's chicken wings. Okay.
The chicken wings in that bag?
No, wait, chicken wings on the I clearly said corn nuts. This man said it's a chicken wings in the bag.
Okay. So just want to clear it out.
So these corn nuts smell good. Smell good. Oh, I'm taking those home. You can't have them. Those are really good.
Okay, you're good to take these home.
I like those.
All right, they started off with a bang.
They did. Let's start off with a bang with this one. All right, the next one is sweet corn by Regent. See, I think this is more of my style of box.
I think so.
Because it's savory. And I think you more like
you
want the sweets.
You're exactly right on that, but I'm enjoying this too.
Golden sweet corn. This is the packaging for it, y'all.
Oh, just a little cheese puff, huh?
It literally tastes like corn on the cob.
No, get out of here.
Yes, it does.
Oh, you like...
That is so interesting. It tastes like, what's the Green Giant can, the corn in the can?
The Jolly Green Giant?
It literally tastes like corn on the cob.
They blew up the corn.
No, it tastes like corn.
The corn, that's pretty cool.
It tastes just like corn on the cob. That's
if you like corn on the cob, your mom would love this, by the way.
That's wild.
What I got to do is burn you a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
They preserved the taste. I injected this. Okay.
Yeah, corn. First ingredient is corn.
I hope so.
And vegetable oil.
Whoa.
Wow. Y'all, I have never.
Oh, they capture corn in the car.
In a bag. In a bag.
Really good.
Okay, this is actually if I had to rank, I think this one is.
So far, that's one for taste, I can tell you that much.
The next one we have is strawberry cake.
Oh boy, now we talk.
So strawberry cake by Regent is a delicious cake made from high-grade ingredients and baked to perfection. Every bite gives an overload of exquisite taste of strawberry flavor. This treat is perfect for a sweet tooth fix.
Okay.
Or a quick snack. Strawberry cake. So this is the packaging.
Wow.
This is what it looks like. I'm nervous about this one. This is what it looks like, y'all. Why are you looking at me and not trying? You're looking for my reaction before you try it?
How is it? Why are you laughing? Or what are you trying to hold? Okay, here you go. Let's see this now. Okay. Mm. 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 Let's look at the ingredients. Oh, they're too small. I can't make it out. Oh, that's a key. The ingredients are too small to read. Yeah. Oh, gee, I ain't
That wasn't
I
for
love
me.
sweets, but
That wasn't for me.
I'm not quite ready for those.
Jacobina biscuit.
Oh,
So this is a company that was, I want to say it's Nosita Bakery in Laguna, Philippines, founded by Paterno Nosita, where he set up a small bakery after World War II and produced a deliciously crispy and light biscuit, best enjoyed with milk or coffee. So this is the packaging. Looks like, y'all, if you can see, is it supposed to look partly? Yeah.
okay. Best enjoyed with milk and coffee.
Milk or
Milk
coffee.
or coffee. Okay. Well, at least they're giving you a warning. No, I see milk.
You
I
see
gotta have
milk?
some milk. Yeah, I gotta have some milk. This. Definitely would recommend it without anything.
It's light.
No, I think milk. Coffee also.
It doesn't really taste like anything to me.
No, it's because you gotta have milk.
You got it out. Yeah, this would be good with some coffee in the morning.
No doubt.
All right, this next one you're probably not going to enjoy.
Okay.
So my dad is not a big seafood person,
Oh no. What?
and these next ones are prawn crackers.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is a prawn cracker, which is one of the most popular treats in Asia and in the Philippines. And it's likely a favorite of everyone who grew up in Asia or on Asian snacks. These crackers are extra crispy and packed with seafood flavor as well as vitamin A. I feel like I've had these before. I feel like I think we have a local Asian market, and I believe that I've had a colleague who bought these once because we went there and she gave these to me. So I feel like this is what the packaging, I feel like I've had these before. Maybe not the exact packaging, but I feel like I've had prawn crackers before. Do you want to pass?
No, I can't taste it. I swear, no.
Yeah, he can't, y'all. He can't. It's not.
So, but I'm sure mom would love them probably. Yeah, she would love those.
I mean, I've had them before, so I feel like I'm kind of like not a good judge for that, because I've had them.
All right, put that in your bag. Get on with you.
Would you like me to move it further? Move it further downwind?
They're pretty strong.
Okay, cheese balls.
No, you can't go wrong with cheese.
You can't go wrong with cheese balls.
No,
You just can't.
right.
So these bite-sized, well, we've said that about other things.
Yeah, that's true.
And it went wrong.
True.
These bite-sized cheese balls are overloaded with cheese flavor that we all crave for. A popular snack to all kids and kids at heart.
Okay, I'll put that last. You just zip it right down the seam, man.
It tastes like cheese balls.
Oh yeah.
It tastes like cheese balls that you eat now.
What it tastes like healthy cheese balls a little bit though.
But there's a slight different flavor to them. This box definitely has had more hits than the last one. Although the last one went well, this one definitely has more hits than misses for me personally.
I agree.
Okay. So the last thing, so we have two things left in our box, but one of them, this is a surprise. So these are wafer rolls. And I don't know if these are necessarily, I don't think these are necessarily native to the Philippines. So this must just be an addition for us to try. Okay, this next one though is green mango butterscotch bar. Green mango butterscotch bar by Pinky's Goodies are scrumptious green mango flavored butterscotch bars with a slightly chewy texture, a great snack for any occasion.
Oh boy. It's one favorite box. Ooh. Okay. Now sign on to taste. So that's what I'm doing. I'm tasting this and I'm not feeling it though.
I can't get the taste out.
Oh. Good thing it's Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit stronger than that.
I do not like butterscotch.
I'm not a butterscotch.
I'm not a butterscotch person either.
No, I'm not.
So that was...
But they put their best foot, well, they put a foot forward on that, this one, but they put something forward. Wow, we agreed on something.
Yeah, we did. Okay, the last thing is these wafer rolls.
They're like a babysit ours. don't they? Yeah, come on now. Babysit ours. I know they're gonna be good.
Look at you looking down, shaking your legs, you excited.
They're gonna be good.
That's ridiculous.
They're gonna be good.
Y'all, after we finish this, he gonna go and eat a piece of sweet potato pie. The money for you.
Oh yeah. Everybody should do that tonight. Sure, that man that was like, I'm digging it. Yeah, sure.
It's good.
Oh, this stuff here. Come on, man.
Just wafer and chocolate. You can't go wrong.
No, this is good though. Nothing else you can sit on the back porch and pretend you got a cigar in your hand. I mean, how can you go wrong? Oh, this is really good. On a serious note, this is nothing wrong with this one. But it's easy to say that coming from that last thing.
Well, that is it. Thank you so much to Trees Pots for sending us another one to do together. Oh God, I can smell those prawns all the way from over here.
Yeah, we gotta hurry up and get them outside.
All right, y'all. I'll be back with another update on Fat Angie, and so we can dig into this vlog. Say bye.
Bye.
Hey y'all, so I have begun reading Fat Angie, and I literally just read chapter 1, which means I'm about 17 pages in, and there are already content warnings for this. Definitely bullying, I think kind of making fun of someone's mental health, body shape and size. There is mention and description of attempted suicide. So this is a rough one. I probably am going to film an intro after filming this clip, which is completely backwards, but it is what it is. I'm concerned about the way some of this stuff is written. So the premise of this story is essentially that Fat Angie is a young girl who's struggling with a lot. She's in high school. She seemed to have a really, really good relationship with her sister. And her sister decided to forego college and join the military. And no one knew that it was going to happen until 2 weeks before she goes to boot camp. And Angie didn't cope with that after there was this possibility that her sister had gone missing. And so Angie then attempts to commit suicide as a means to deal with the issues within her family. Her mom being abusive and neglectful, not really having anybody there, and just being grossly bullied while at school. And we pretty much open up with her getting bullied. There's 2 things already about this that I'm not necessarily enjoying. There was a line, which is why I'm so glad that I'm reading this physically, because the one thing about reading audio is that I would have to write down instead of just making a reference. So there's a line in here that says, Coach Layden said Angie's having a hard day and scooted Angie off the way. Mr. Appal did the special ed kids when it did something on the special side. I'm not really, I didn't like that line at all. That line really, really did not sit well with me. But Angie is bullied pretty bad, y'all. I mean, horribly, horribly, horribly. And the other thing that I'm not really enjoying about this is we know that Angie is fat. And the author feels a need to constantly say Fat Angie, Fat Angie, Fat Angie. And it's repetitive to the point where it's like, okay, so we know that Angie is fat. You don't have to tell us and continue to use the name Fat Angie, especially for internal dialogue. And I think that part of it is just illustrating how Angie perceives herself. But we also, I think, could have toned that down a little bit. I think that this is going to be a difficult read for me because it doesn't appear as though Angie gets any support from anybody. And so I'm hoping that some way, somehow she does. There is a new girl that pops up that I think may potentially provide Angie with some support, but we'll see. I didn't know what to expect in reading this one, but I just wanted to give you all a quick update. I'm off today. My daughter does not have school today, so we are just going to take some time and possibly go out and do some stuff. So I'm going to pause at chapter 2 right now, which is, like I said, 17 pages in. And then when I get the chance to read it again, I will let y'all know. Okay, y'all, so I just filmed the intro to this, which is going to be so interesting that you're seeing this after the fact. I have decided to tab because I wanted to finish this book within the next couple of days, and I am 95 pages in. The difficult thing about this book is that Angie just doesn't feel like she has any support. I'm still hung up over the fact that the author feels the need to continuously use fat Angie as a way to describe a character. Like, we understand that Angie is fat. And part of me is wondering if they did this because they were trying to push you into the shoes of the character and make you more aware of how they perceive themselves, where that constant notion of being in their body is uncomfortable. And so I wonder if using Fat Angie is a way to make readers uncomfortable because this is the reality of what Angie's perception is of herself. I'm not sure if that's where they were going. If it is, then it makes sense, but it is hard to continuously read it because as a reader, you're thinking like, I get it. But as someone who is also fat and plus size, it's like when you're not comfortable in your body yet, you are always hyper aware of your body. And even when you become comfortable in your skin, people try to make you hyper aware of your body at all times. And so that's why I'm kind of wondering if that's where she was going with it. Still, I do have some issues with the fat representation in this. I do have some issues with references to other things that I don't think have aged very well, considering this book was written 10 years ago at this point. For instance, there's a section on page 39 that says they should have been on the lower on the social chain than she was, with their high-end braces, robot stickered binders. They were, in urban slang, tricked out freak geeks. First of all, I don't like the use of urban slang because what this author is inevitably referring to is probably AAVE, and it is not urban slang. It is a language, and you know, people say, well, it's a dialect, and I agree with that, but I also look at AAVE as being another language because it's the way that Black people communicate, and sometimes outside people don't know what the hell we're talking about. It is a language that you can be fluid in, that you dip in and out of, which I do all the time. So that section right there for me just does not age well. We potentially are looking here at a possible romance between characters, which is where I think we're going to get our queer representation, but I feel like this relationship is also not going to be good, because already I can see comments from Angie being pretty one-sided. So Angie's always referring to this other character as being beautiful and, you know, you're awesome, you're amazing. And I feel like this other character is a little bit more on the reserved end, and I'm not sure where that's coming from just yet. But I'm still kind of checking out vibes here. I'm going to be making it through, or attempting to make it through, the next section of my bracketing off, which will put me at let me see here. It will put me at 150 pages. So reading from 95 to 150 this evening, which is really not that much in the grand scheme of things. And like I said, hopefully I will be finished with this in the next couple of days. That way I can go ahead and wrap this vlog up. But this has not been the best reading experience yet. This is the type of book where it was revolutionary, I think, when it released, because it was the first of its kind to have fat representation in a story. This was before Julie Murphy and all of that. Like, this was one of the first to kind of create that narrative and have that representation. But in some ways, things change socially. We become more socially conscious. We become more socially aware. And so there are parts of this book that are just not aging well at all. And that's what's making it so difficult for me. And it's not a slog of a read, but it's just like, it's apparent that this book was written 10 years ago. So there's that. But I'm going to go ahead and dive into the next portion of the book, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Pray for me. Good morning. Okay, so I originally was going to I was reading the book physically, but I'm really struggling with this book, y'all. It is not one of my favorites that I've ever read, so I'm going to switch to audio. So I found the audio for the book on AnyPlay. I think I'm about halfway through the book now, so I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish it up while I'm at work today, listening to it via audio, so that I can give y'all the final updates of this one. I think this was not a good pick for me to do for the first banned book diary, but at least in some ways, like, we're still raising awareness about banned and challenged books, because honestly, y'all, it's not gonna get better. As a matter of fact, whenever I get a chance today, I'm gonna share some information that I learned via a couple people in my Discord, which I had not been aware of something, and so I want to talk a little bit about that after, or while I'm doing an update about the book, which I think is going to be pretty cool, you know, to like share some current news about book challenging and banning, and also, you know, discuss a book at the same time. So this is the first time doing this. We're figuring this out as we go, but yeah. All right, I'll check in once I make some progress on this thing. Okay, y'all, so I have been kind of listening to this book like off and on today. Not much. Today's just been a really, really busy day for me, but I don't really have much left of the book at all, maybe like an hour, so I'll be finished with it soon. We're kind of at a section right now where Angie has decided that she wants to do basketball, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's this connection to the sport with her sister. And I can't remember if I've mentioned this in a previous clip or not, but Angie's sister was a really, really good basketball player, and it's also what connects one of the neighbors into the storyline. I don't want to get into too many specifics because of spoilers, but I still am having some issues, like I think with the technical pieces of the writing, like just some words that are being used, like the gay girl gay thing. I'm still not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all, but that's me in terms of preference. I'm not a fan of that. Also, I think that one of the other things that I'm struggling with is just this consistent usage of Fat Angie, and it's just becoming so redundant. And I've talked about this earlier, where like I can understand, I think, where the author took this in terms of character insight and how Angie views herself, but it's just so overwhelming and it's so distinctive to the point that like I kind of cringe every time I hear Fat Angie. And once again, like I said, this could be the author challenging our perspectives and views in reference to body size and hearing the word fat, and that fat, reclaiming the word fat, I think is a better way to look at it and to explain it. But it's just become excessive at this point that it's taking away from the vibe of the entire book, to be honest with you, just taking away from it. I did get to one scene that I really liked where we have a gym teacher who I think has or wants to have Angie's best interests at heart, but sometimes makes mistakes. And I'm glad that we got to a piece where Angie was like, basically, stop coddling me and stop treating me like I'm broken. Like, I've been through a lot. I know that I've been through a lot. I have a mom that's trash, a dad that's absent, a sister that's missing. You know, I attempted suicide. But I definitely want to get better. I want to do better. So give me that chance. And that basically has been the highlight for me, because there's just so much negative energy surrounding Angie and just internal dialogue that's just very dark. And so just that flicker of Angie being able to say, like, you know, like, I want to do this. I'm going to stand up for myself because I want to do this, and I need you to respect that. So we'll see where we go from here. But I just wanted to do a quick check-in, even though I haven't made much progress. I'm in chapter 10, I believe. I think I'm in chapter 10. So don't know what, I have the physical book in here, but clearly I'm not going to flip through the pages right now. Hey y'all, so I did end up finishing Fat Angie. I know this is like a pretty heavy gap in between the last update and this update, but y'all, Fat Angie, that was a rough book. It does not end in a positive way. So I think the last thing that I talked about was Angie, I think, finding this connection between basketball and her sister and trying to rectify this loss that she's been feeling. Angie's mother is incredibly abusive. And so at the beginning of this video, I'm hoping that you have already seen it. I'm definitely going to put like a content warning, because I have not read a YA book in a while where the main character is subjected to so much abuse from everyone around her. And at least there's always somebody in the corner, but even the friend that she makes, Casey, is not always supportive. And so we see essentially Angie taking emotional, verbal, and physical abuse from everyone around her. This book, in my opinion, is in a lot of ways dated because of terminology that's been used. There are definitely content warnings for homophobia, and I think that there are some things that border along the lines of racial stereotyping. And this one, not even fall on the borderlines, but I think there is a lot of racial stereotyping. I think one of the major critiques of this book that I disagree with is that people feel like Angie goes through the process of losing weight in order to feel validated. And I don't think her intention was to lose weight. I think her intention in playing basketball was to have this connection with her sister, who, as I said before, her sister has gone missing. This is the war in Iraq. And there are some, I think, feelings about the war in Iraq from the author's perspective, although they're not explicitly stated. I think they're interwoven into the narrative, and so you can pick up on some of that. I will say that this is one of the first books, and I'm not going to say the complete first, but this is one of these first wave of YA books that is really tackling fat representation. And I understand that, but I think I still struggled with this. Like, this is not a book as a plus size fat woman that I would want to have picked up as an adolescent for not validation, but for seeing body representation in a book. And I don't know if it necessarily would hold up. This is not a title that I see still circulating in the library. It's not a title that I see a lot of people still talking about. I think, once again, it's a title that has been brought up because of book challenging and book banning. That doesn't say that there's absolutely nothing that I like about this book, but this was a tough book to read. This book is depressing. It doesn't end on a positive note. It's very somber, and I do believe that this is the first in a trilogy. I do know that there's at least one book after this one, so, but I'm pretty sure I saw a third one, so this is the first in a trilogy, and I think I just really struggled with the lack of accountability for anyone, and I'm sure that I would probably see more of that if I made the ultimate decision to pick up the rest of the series. But I think for right now, I don't know if I necessarily have an urge to do that. I think there's no accountability for her mother. Her mother is completely horrendous. She says very, very mean and cruel things to Angie, to the point that Angie doesn't even see or feel seen by her own mother. I think that there was a nice kind of reconciliation between Angie and her brother, but he just wasn't great to her either. There was some things about bullying that was happening at the school that never really got addressed the way that they were supposed to be addressed. Like, I think, like I said before, I think her gym teacher wanted to step in and really be helpful and really support Angie in the best way that she knew how. But I feel like one of the main people who was supposed to, well, one of the main people who was adamant about bullying Angie, both physically and verbally, there's never any consequences for her actions, which I think is kind of weird in a school premises, to physically harm a student and nobody's really doing anything about it. Because her mom's a part of the PTA. Like, at the end of the day, you can't go to school and beat the shit out of someone's child and it'd be like, oh, well, your mom's a part of the PTA, so we're not going to really do anything about it. And so I think the coach tried to step in and really attempted to assist, but there was no accountability there. Then there was almost like this attempt to excuse their behavior because they also had some connection to the war in Iraq, which at that point I was like, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Like, she's horrible. She's a horrible human. This is not something that I would pick up lightly, and it definitely was not something that I think I readily enjoyed. I think that this is something that does not hold up necessarily against the test of time, and it is a book that has questionable fat representation in it. I think that there are titles, of course, that do fat representation, especially if we're talking about YA. There are titles that do fat representation a lot better, like Crystal Maldonado, but I do see why in the time in which this was written, which was 2013, I do understand why this book was so pivotal and what it was doing in terms of content, in terms of topics that it was tackling. You know, we're looking at war, we're looking at death, we're looking at suicide, suicidal ideation. There's content warnings in here for self-harm. There is conversations about body image that we don't necessarily see a lot at this point in YA. I think a lot of what we're seeing in YA is stereotypical white, thin. Not all YA, but I think that is the standard, not like the other girls. This is, I mean, you're thinking this is like 2012, 2013, you know, that's what you were looking with in YA. So I think that it was a very different book for the time in which it was written. But reading this 10 years later, it doesn't necessarily hold up, and it was depressing reading this book. And even, you know, I've had some horrible comments made to me. Even now as an adult, I have people who've said some really offhanded shit about my weight or the way that my body is shaped, but never. And I was in high school in the earlier 2000s, so never this bad, like never like that egregious to the point where we don't even have any adult figures stepping in and attempting to rectify what's going on or handle the situation in a very responsible manner, the way adults should be handling the situation. And we only have one parental, or I should say we only have one adult figure that seemingly has some compassion. Like, every other adult in this book is just trash. Well, I would say Casey's mother isn't either. Like, Casey's mother is not. Casey's mother is extremely supportive, but there's some awkward things there too. So I don't know how to feel about this one. I think this was a very interesting pick for the first vlog. I was just trying to go with something that was already on my shelf, but the point of these vlogs is for me to be reading these books and to be highlighting books that are being banned and challenged. I think, as I said before, that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to like every single book that I come across, but this was a hell of a first pick. And so I don't know what I'm gonna rate it. I'm sitting at like a 2-star rating right now. I'm wavering back and forth between a 2 and a 3, but I think that still the whole point of this is, regardless of whether I like the book or not, I think access still is an important thing. And so I can see the content, it's not justifiable, but I see the content in which it's being challenged. And, you know, it's a Stonewall Book Award winner. That alone tells you that there's queer content, so it's going to get challenged for that. Then there are some pretty dark themes that can be handled. And I think it all depends upon the emotional maturity of the person or the teenager that's reading this, on whether they are able to handle such dark themes. But of course, you're going to have some people who feel like those dark themes shouldn't be included in any book, even though it could be things that a teenager is experiencing. So regardless of whether I feel about how I feel about the books that I'm going to be talking about in these vlogs, I still think that it's important that access is still there, and that people still have the opportunity to read this book if they're interested in checking it out. I know some people, from what I've seen in the reviews, who have enjoyed this. I just don't think that this one was necessarily for me. So if you have any books that you can think of off the top of your head that have been challenged or banned recently that you would like to see me read, let me know in the comments down below. I have a couple of contenders that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about rereading The Bluest Eye, because I haven't read that book in years, and that's one that is and has been challenged and banned forever. Like, it constantly is on the list for books that are challenged or banned. And so I'm thinking about doing that one next month. So my aim and my goal is to get one of these out every single month, because it's just a single book vlog. It really doesn't take much, even though this one took me a long time to read because I just wasn't into it. As you can see, I started this vlog on Christmas and you're getting it like a month later, but it is what it is. It took me a month to kind of really like push through this book because of I did not care for it as much as I thought I was going to care for it. But anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. If you're interested in following me on social media or supporting the channel, all the links will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.